so here the purpose is I wanted to do a very tiny conversation with everyone about AI, your journey at IBA, particularly. I think we would be better off to kind of, I'm going to start with you, Gulshir. You know, you as a assistant professor at IBA, who had the opportunity to come over here to the United States, and then you went to MIT, you participated in the program, and you decided to bring AI to Pakistan. But what was interesting, and I think that's where we're gonna take the conversation, is really your journey. I wanted to kind of be like kind of a conversation in terms of what you have done, why you have done this, why it made sense to you, where do you see it going. So I kind of look at it as more of a conversation highlighting you, not ReadyAI, not what we sell. It's just really honestly that is is your journey, but also with the focus on teachers, because you developed this ecosystem of bringing teachers on board, and then how you're trying to expanding it, because you're obviously using the IBA school network in order to do it. And interestingly, this did not start in Islamabad or Karachi. This started in Sukkur, which is a city in the middle of, not the largest city, but still a city in the middle of Pakistan. So necessarily you don't have to be the largest cosmopolitan city in the country to start AI. You can start it from anywhere. And I would like to kind of take it there. And also at the same time, the synergy that you've created, not just you have created, but also the synergy you've made me create on my side with even when we came over to your seminar, Peter Hines and I stayed in touch, and Peter Hines and his colleagues and ReadyAI were developing a natural language processing module for kids. So thanks to IBA, thanks to you, we're also doing that as well. So that's essentially the where I would like to take the conversation. I don't foresee this conversation to be more than 20 minutes or 25 minutes long. We're gonna cut it, edit it, we'll send it to you. If you guys feel good about it, then what we'll do is we'll just gonna put it online with the description of the description of all the 3 teachers that we have, but also you. So we're gonna also talk to Ammar with Sana and Larabin.
I think she's not here because of some reason. So Ammar and
okay,
Sana,
so yes. Okay, Sana. So we talked to Sana and we talked to Ammar.
Yep.
Very good. Okay, sounds good. Very good. Very good. So we can get started in a few minutes. If Ammar and Sana are going to turn on their video. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing great. And you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
Very good. Very good. Hi, Ammar. You are muted. Here we go.
Hello, Rosbe.
Hey, guy. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Good.
Well, thank you so much for your time on a Friday evening. I really appreciate it. I'm joined by my colleague, Ibo. Ibo runs the business development at ReadyAI. And we're really appreciative of your time. And you probably heard everything I said. I told Gulshir. The objective for us is to kind of have a conversation. And I'm going to start with Gulshir, and feel comfortable. Imagine we're sitting having an afternoon tea and also discussing a little bit about the journey that Gulshir has started actually back in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, in Boston. So with that said, let's jump into it. First of all, I want to thank you all for being here. It's thank you for spending your Friday evening with us. I do miss being back in Sukkur. It's a beautiful city. For all those that are watching, I highly recommend going to Sokor, and even the flight I took a flight from Karachi to Sokor, and that flight was an interesting flight because you go through so much land mass, and all of a sudden you come down and you kind of descend by beautiful river, beautiful scenery of agricultural lands, and then you land in a beautiful city of Sokor. But most important, you meet very beautiful people of Sokor, and not to mention this marvelous IBA campus where was the start of my journey with Pakistan with AI. But today is not about my journey in Pakistan with AI. Today is about Golshire's journey, which started, frankly, in Boston, or probably prior to Boston. So let me jump to Golshire. Golshire, how did it start?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for your nice words, and you are welcome anytime in the Sucker Back again. And we miss you also, and it was very nice meeting you back then. Well, my journey basically started when I finished my PhD, and I was in the field of image processing. So it was sort of related to what we do in convolutional neural networks in AI. And I was sort of, when I was finishing my PhD, and it was the era of deep learning and AI. So being vice chancellor of our university, he offered me to basically go to United States, MIT, and see what is happening in this new technology. So I got the chance to go to MIT and do their professional certificate program in machine learning and AI. It was basically based on 4 courses, and it was sort of an exposure that what's happening in this field in a developed country and a reputable university like MIT. So it gave me a very good insight of what is happening there. I quickly realized that we can't jump to that level immediately at the university level. So I thought we are missing something. There is a gap. So I immediately realized during that training that there is a gap. So our students are not basically aware of this thing, and we cannot give them too much in the university level or final year students in the project. So it has to have some process basically. So I had this in my mind, and then keeping in mind, I started researching something, and thankfully I came to know about ReadyAI. And this is what I was looking for basically. I was thinking that there has to be some process to make our students ready for this technology. So when I went through the ReadyAI curriculum, its objective, its outcomes, and its purpose, I mean, it really fascinated me actually. So then I discussed with this thing with my administration in the university. I mean, I told them that if we want to do something, we don't have to start from the higher level. We have to start from the basics basically, so that the students get aware, and when they come to the university, they are almost ready for it. I mean, at least they know something. So then, thankfully, with the help of ReadyAI and the people, I mean, very helpful, and we got into touch with them, with you basically, and then they helped us in the curriculum, in the Calypso, in the the software, in the Cosmos, and then me with the help of my assistant Ablal, and we started creating something because we could find that it was little bit too much for our students at the low levels. We tried to concise that. We tried to concise the curriculum and make it compatible with our students, how they can understand. So we just sort of precised it, and then we made the one training program that how we're gonna do it. And then finally, we decided that we call our teachers, and so the train it. And thankfully, I'm very grateful to you because you also accepted our request to visit us, and it was really, I mean, morale booster for us. I mean, it was kickstart for us, because seeing you as a person, as a pioneer of something that we are going to do, I mean, it was really encouraging for us. So, I mean, your one couple of days were like very good for us, so that we learned a lot. And after that teaching, after that training, basically what happened that we sort of gave the trainings to the teachers, and then when it finished, uh, basically, uh, then we were like to go to the schools also, to pursue how the teachers are going to apply that training to the students. And then uh, that's what where we just came to know about the COVID-19, and it all stopped suddenly. We were to kickstart about that. We had a plans to visit those schools to with the curriculum, with the trainings, to get them certified with the ReadyAI courses and all that. And uh, but now what is happening is actually we are doing it online, and our students are doing online certifications for various Ready AI courses, and they are learning. They are very enthusiastic. Encouraged, and they sort of are into it now, and they are very happy to see this new world of AI, basically. And this is new for them, maybe not for the world, but for our part of the world, it was something new for the young students, because our basically curriculum was lacking this new or updated courses or updated technology, basically. So introducing that, it makes students to be more creative and take out their best out of them, and then apply that knowledge to solve the community problems. It's great. It's just a start. It's just a start, but hopefully it is going to get longer, and we will pursue that to make it much success, inshallah.
Thank you, Gulshir. That's wonderful. But for our audience that don't know much about Pakistan, what has been done at the K to 12 level when it comes to STEAM or STEM education and in AI, could you draw us a picture of the landscape of where the country is currently, and also whether other initiatives that are happening at the K to 12 level, but also you being coming from a university body, what is the real objective behind linking this university level of expertise and infrastructure and support, but also bringing it over to the K to 12 or trickling it down to the K to 12 level?
Well, not much is happening from K-12 level about this new technology, to be honest. Maybe in larger cities like Islamabad, Karachi, and very few schools, maybe community, maybe they are doing, but not much at some scale, basically. Our objective for Sakhar IBA was to basically get as much as the students or the schools in rural areas, to get them quality education, because the system here was basically not working well about the education. So we, being the IBA, took the initiative to get the control of those schools, give them quality education, and then so that these students are ready for the challenge. So not much, to my knowledge, that something like AI is happening to some scale, not at the government level at all. That's, I'm sure. Something is happening at higher level, maybe university research level, but at K-12 level, nothing significant. So I would believe that that's the first initiative that we have taken to take it to some scale.
I believe so too, and particularly I remember when I was there, yeah, you also invited people coming from two major cities in Pakistan, or actually I should say more than two, three: Islamabad, Lahore, Karachi. They were coming and they were also amazed by all the things that you're doing. But when I was on campus with you, what I've noticed that you've done is you didn't just make it a slogan or a tagline. Instantly, you involved and you conducted a workshop and you brought in a number of teachers on board. So to me, that was very interesting. Teachers that we're lucky to have two of them on the call today, and we're going to be talking to Ammar and Sanad as well. But prior to moving to that, so why did you think this teacher element or bringing on teachers on board was such a crucial step, but also it was a crucial step early on in the process?
Well, because they are basically directly connected with the students. They are teaching them. They know the psychology of young students. They know how to teach them. So it was very important to get the people who are directly connected with them, basically, and to spread this to certain scale, because I couldn't have done it myself alone or a couple of students. So basically, we divided into the teachers so that it is scale up. I mean, more and more students can be involved from different cities, from different schools. So to scale this process, basically it was necessary to bring on board certain qualified teachers who can basically take this message to the students. And that's why I thought, okay, instead of going myself to every school, let's parallelize this process basically, so that in parallel in every school this process should go on. The next step was to visit them basically, to let's see that how students are responding to their teachings, and then with respect to that we had to take a corrective measures to improve that process or the curriculum or learning process. So that couldn't happen because of COVID-19, but surely once the situations are normalized, we'll visit these teachers in their respective schools, and then we'll make sure that it is being passed on to the students, and more students are getting benefit out of it. So that was the idea, that we should scale this up and involve more and more teachers so that they are also known to this new technology and they are part of this new technology.
I could not agree with you more, particularly as we were seeing during the COVID-19 and the area of more, so to speak, touchless technology and the distance learning. I would even highlight the role of the teachers even more. And nowadays, what we're faced with is the issue of engagement. Could we really have students engaged? Does it matter if he or she is having latest technology, or can we get across the latest in technology or the latest, be it AI or other subject matters, with good teachers? So I very much agree with you. I echo your point of view, and I do believe that teachers are at the centerpiece of it. With that said, so let me bring both Sana and Ammar on the line as well and welcome them. So let me open it up to both of them. So let me start with Sana. Well, first of all, thank you so much for being on this call, and thank you so much for being so open to try new things with your students in the classroom. Tell us a little bit about your experience. You as a teacher, what grade are you teaching? What school? How many students? And how was your journey? Because I remember first time I saw you was at the workshop. And kind of walk us through what happened after that workshop at Sukur IBA, and how your experience was with teaching AI to your students.
Thank you, Rus. Okay, so I just started my journey at IB Community College, Khairpur. I'm teaching at IB Community College, Khairpur, one of the community college that is managed by Sakhar IBA. Okay, so before this workshop, we were just teaching the students about robotics. We were teaching them about programming language. Okay, there was no artificial intelligence element in the teaching before. Okay, so students were not much aware about, they were using this technology, of course, they were using artificial intelligence, but they were not aware how it is working at the back end. Na? So when we had the training there, so we just learned the things about artificial intelligence. We learned how to, give that knowledge to the students. So after all, after that, what happened? We went to the college after the training. That was very good training by the official members of IB and everyone. When we went back to our colleges, we conducted some sessions. Okay, the sessions from class 3 to class 8. All right. So students were, very much interested about learning the artificial intelligence and learning the programming languages that are related to artificial intelligence. And I just, told them that these programming languages are working with the, the artificial intelligence. These are the robots which are programmed with artificial intelligence. So they just say, okay, why we are learning the old programming languages, why don't we should start with the Python language with these Cosmo robotics. Okay, so they were very much interested, and we just conducted 6 or 7 sessions in our college. After that, this COVID-19 situation happened. So what happened? We were just conducting the online classes, and then I asked the students to do some of the online courses on ReadyAI.org. So my students joined the online classes, which were conducted by ReadyAI.org, and they also completed few of the courses that were about the AI plus me, machine learning, and all that. So I just shared the certificates of the students as well, and I was really impressed by the students' interest in the field of artificial intelligence. So actually, I'm thinking that when we'll go back to the school, we'll just give the hands-on practice to the students on the robotics and the programming languages that are related to the artificial intelligence. So yes, it was very good journey. Thanks to all of you for providing us such platform so that we learned and we are just giving that knowledge to the students. We are very much thankful to all of you. So this was my journey related to.
Thank you, Sana. So let me also ask the same question from Ammar. Ammar, please, the microphone is yours.
Yeah, hello. First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity. So I'm basically a lecturer at IBA Public School, Ladkana, that is basically associated with the Sakhar IBA University. So I teach basically the students of class 7, 8, 9 metric. So basically, I took a session before this COVID-19, and I took just one session of the AI and just delivered these applications of AI to the students. So again, after that, basically we provide the online education online on the Zoom application basically to the students, and I encourage the student to complete the courses of Ready AI on your sites. That is basically a very good site that basically engages you with the artificial intelligence applications, as well as there are multiple plenty of activities that basically AI plus me course, and more than 5 students have completed 19 courses. 19 courses on the Ready AI website. That is basically, I guess, there are total approximately 19 courses on the self-paced courses. So more than 5 students have completed every course on that website, and basically they also create some programs on the Calypso as well. So whenever we were just creating the application, creating the programs on the Calypso, they were not basically running. So just Dr. Gulshed just helped me out that basically you can click on the backspace and you can run the program. So basically the students basically run those programs, and one of the students created that program that, for example, my mummy is very sad, and just a small baby is just crying, and he is disturbing basically to the mom. So basically, what the Calypso robot would do, he would actually will see recognize the facial expression of that mom, and if she's sad, Calypso will be looking around for the baby as well. And when he see the cry baby face, he will basically play and just play with this baby and sing a song. So basically, she created that program. So many of the students have created that program. Basically, are interested, and I basically encourage them to do a lot of things on the Calypso as well, and learn about the artificial intelligence technologies that are basically uh, changing our future, changing our world, basically in many perspectives, many scenarios. So I just encourage them to look around the problems in our society, in our community, and look for the problems and just solve it through the technology, using the technology by actually getting into the technology. So that was basically my overall journey to this platform and Ready AI. And after all, I'm just thank you for this Sakhar IB University initiative, Dr. Gulshed's such hard works and smart work to provide us this opportunity to teach the student the latest technology and the latest state of the art of the technology.
Well, all three of you, thank you, Ammar. All three of you keep thanking us, but the truth of the matter is the other way around. We thank you for doing what you're doing. We're thanking you because really you're at the center of it. We just develop the content, but also the real hard work, the real developing the ecosystem and kind of growing the ecosystem was very much dependent on you, and you're doing it. And I'm so glad that it's happening in Pakistan. I'm really happy that there is a concrete plan to develop this ecosystem, make it larger. But also, given the hurdles that we have with COVID-19, the schools might not be in session for a few months in the next academic school year, even more. The question is, what can we do to keep the kids engaged? And now, thank you so much for that intro. As you know, we don't build our content in isolation. We build our content by working with universities around the country in the United States and sometimes in Europe. Also, we directly work with various professors. We work with various initiatives, such as AI for K-12, which as all of your students are familiar with those 5 big ideas in AI and the guidelines for those 5 big ideas in AI. With obviously, you've mentioned a software program called
AI applications, I guess.
6 applications, 5 big ideas. Correct.
Yeah.
You're testing me, but that's very good. That's very true. That's 6 AI applications, but in the context of 5 big ideas in AI. Very, absolutely true. But also the point is there is a whole ecosystem that needs to be involved, and universities like Carnegie Mellon, the software programs like Calypso, initiatives like MIT, that have always been the forefront of these initiatives and trying to develop the content. They call it democratizing AI. I like to call it kind of bringing AI to every country, regardless of the word democratizing or not. I believe in the essence of every child should have the right to be AI literate, AI educated. What is your message for the pioneers in the AI field, for the universities, and for the professors that we work with, or perhaps we don't work with, but they're in the field of AI and they're doing interesting research? What is your message to them from the classroom, from the university organization like Sakur? And what do you want them to keep in mind as they are doing the research, and do you want them to be more involved in the K-12 or kind of the broader public awareness of AI? With that, let me open this up first to Gulshir, and then Sana, and then Ammar to answer it, please.
Well, I would say that please keep up the good work. I mean, the work they are doing is amazing. Those who are involved into this K-12, developing the curriculum and all that. And my message would be others also to please, I mean, get more attention to this K-12 AI education, because I believe it's my opinion, but I would say that it's more important than just introducing the AI at the university level, because that is most of us what we are doing basically. More we will create a better content for the K-12 system, it will take too long, because students are more creative at young level. I mean, they can create out-of-box solutions. I mean, you can imagine what power they have for the creativity. So I would say that those who are they're doing a great job, and the others, please get involved into it. And I mean, K-12 curriculum need to be more informative, more easy for the students to use it, and more sort of creative, so that the students create the solutions and do their best.
Thank you. Let me move to Sana.
Okay, so whatever they are doing in the field of K-12 is really great, but I would suggest actually the students are more creative at this stage. Okay, we are interacting with the students on the daily basis, so we can see that they are more creative at this stage from K to 12. So we must create this kind of content, so they should be engaged and involved in the right direction, because future is all about artificial intelligence and this robotics. So we must engage them and ignite them to learn learn about this field. So my suggestion for the researchers in this particular field that are working on the K-12 is that they should simplify the content. for the students of K to 12 level. So if the content will be simplified and the content will be creative, then the students will be more engaged and more nice to learn about this particular field. Okay, so this is my suggestion about particular field.
Thank you so much. Amar?
Well, I would also recommend to provide just such an easy activity, such an easy platform for the students to be just indulge with the studies and to discuss more opportunities about the AI application, discuss more about the how things are basically inventing, how basically things can be invented, how you can think basically. So there should be a session, there should be a course on it basically. So we we can actually provide them. Uh, uh, Bigger picture of that site and bigger picture of the world, that what the world is doing and what the research is going to be happening around us. So I would just suggest that it will be better if we just inculcate all those research areas in a very easy manner, in a very interactive manner. So that would be our job, that would be all necessary requirements.
Thank you so much. You're right, and I think in the conversation with you and both you, Ammar and Sana, also alluded to the fact that the creativity part, the project-based part. So as we're developing, we're working with universities, and universities are thinking about involving more AI concept at the K to 12 level. The real question becomes is how do we make it relevant, not to the future roboticists, but maybe a student would be interested in law, in medicine. How can he or she potentially find AI and find his or her work incompatible with AI and some AI knowledge or basic AI literacy? That's also very interesting. Well, I want to thank you all for being part of this conversation, and I would like to close our conversation by looking at your message to the teachers, be it the teachers in Pakistan with a population of over 200 million people, which I hope we can bring more AI literacy to them. And by the way, one thing I wanted to mention is having more bells and whistles here in the United States at the school level doesn't mean we're ahead of the game when it comes down to AI literacy. The answer is not. We are not. In fact, Pakistan and what Sakura IBA has done has been one of the most innovative things in terms of building an ecosystem, bringing the content, distributing the content, and testing it with teachers alongside. And I don't believe I have seen in AI education in the past 2 years of such wide and such widespread ecosystem. And that's I think extraordinary. But let me also end our conversation with your message to teachers, the teachers that are perhaps sometimes intimidated in terms of even looking at the term AI, artificial intelligence. They say, well, listen, I'm not a computer science teacher. Why would I want to bring this to my classroom? The ones that might be even worried about budget constraints, not having access to hardware or software. So what is your message to those teachers, those principals, those the mayors, politicians, the ministers that truly want to bring this, but they believe there are going to be a lot of constraints along the way. So with that, let me start this time with Ammar, and then I'm going to work backwards.
Okay, so thank you for providing me this opportunity to talk about the AI various applications to our society. That includes the politicians, the lawmakers, the constituency, and all that. So basically, there is a basically need of innovation. This is the age of the digital age. This is the digital age. This is the innovation age. So we need to look around the technological things. We need to look around the invention that can basically help us out in various fields of in various fields we can develop, we can apply those principles of technology that basically can help our society, that can basically grow our society in a prosper manner, in a better way. So we should be not just fell to that, we just keep moving towards that particular and adopting these technology to build our nation grow, to build our grow better, to build our world better.
Thank you so much, Sana.
So my message to all the my teachers and the politicians and all of the society, that we should work for this particular field. Why we should work for this AI kind of field? We can see that in the field of weather, in the field of law, in the field of education, everywhere we are using artificial intelligence these days. We are predicting the future. We are predicting the future cases. We are working with the past experiences. So we are, you can see, we are, using artificial intelligence in every field. So why not to give this education to the students? Okay, why not to give this education to the kids to learn that how we are working with the artificial intelligence. So it's very good that we should impart this education to our kids. So that's why we should work on this particular artificial intelligence field. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And Gulsher?
Well, I would say that AI is part of life, or it is going to be part of life. It is something that is with everyone, right? So it's not something like if I talk about other technologies, like let's say civil engineering. So maybe civil engineering is for civil engineers also. Maybe they should know all these things. But when we talk about AI, is basically every layman also, every students to a layman is using this or will use this by, let's say, 1 decade after this. I also give example to my students, like when computers were invented, basically only computer engineers were basically having the access to that. Maybe let's talk about Microsoft Office. Let's say in our part of the world there were a few experts of Microsoft Office, and they were used to give services to the people. Okay, let me write an application for you, let me make slides for you. But as the time progressed, what happened that now everybody should know the computer, everybody should know Microsoft Office, and every student should know these things. Similarly, I tell my students that after a few years, after let's say 10 years, everyone will be using AI. Everyone will have, because the easiness of the algorithms that is being developed by the professors or the companies around. You just have to enter your data and you can see what AI do for you. So it's being so easy and so integral part of life, so that we cannot detach ourselves from AI. So it is the time, basically. When I was there in United States, I could realize. I agree with you that it is just starting of AI world. So if we want to catch up with this world of AI, we need to start now. Every authority who can do something for this field. This is the time to do it, right? Introduce it to K level, to the companies, to the trainings. Um, because you cannot like be the separate from the AI, because it is part of it. We are using cell phones. We are using AI. We are using YouTube. We are having recommendations. We are using AI, basically. In the Facebook, we are using AI. Online shopping, we are using AI. In NLP, we are just machine translation. We are using from one language to another. We are using AI. So we have to understand this, that AI is everywhere. It's going to be more common to everyone. So this is the future. This is the technology. So this is the field to invest upon, to invest on our young generations, so that they be the future, and they just take it to next level in coming years.
I agree with you. I agree with all of you. I want to thank you all for being part of this conversation. I want to thank you all for bringing AI education to classrooms, to students in Pakistan. I want to thank you all for being so enthusiastic in doing this, despite all the difficulties and all the hurdles that it has. Particularly, I believe the challenges are going to get even bigger during to the pandemic and other issues that we will be having in the post-pandemic era. But I also do believe that as you said, AI is going to be part of a broader conversation for every child. But the truth of the matter is, I think all of us are sitting here or having this conversation. We are pro humans. We are pro students. And honestly, the question that we need to all answer collectively as a society is, what does it mean to be a human being in the age of AI? And frankly, collectively, we can answer that if we are more equipped with better knowledge, we're equipped with better resources, and we really start the conversation early on for this AI native generations that you happen to be interacting with much more than us in the classrooms in Pakistan, in Sukkur, and in elsewhere. So with that, I want to thank you all. For those that are watching, I highly recommend looking at Sukkur IBA University and their initiatives with their partner schools. And I highly would like for you to be watching that we potentially will have a World Artificial Intelligence competition for youth in Pakistan, and the initiatives that are taking place in Pakistan when it comes down to AI education. So thank you all. Thank you for being part of this conversation, and looking forward to your success, and looking forward to hearing more good news from Pakistan in the coming months and in the coming years.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for the